Snaps, and I think he's got another one. He has. Puts it through for a goal, his second. James Hird, well, it's been gone a while, this game, but he came down to the bench before halftime, spent some time with his players down there, gone back upstairs now, trying to take a positive.
So the biggest win for Geelong this year has been 65 against GWS, but this is their second biggest win of the year.
A few worries for James Hird and Essendon. They had a good last quarter against Port, got thrashed by St Kilda the week before that. They're a fair bit off that top four at the moment.
Gets the players back, we know, but this has been a great result for those teams above Essendon tonight, because it makes it very difficult for them. Corey forward, Chapman has kicked a couple, hasn't had a whole lot of footy, but he's played a pretty pivotal role, as have so many of his teammates. And then Jetta whipped off it, Motlop, been important, good tackle by Watson up the front, and the ball up. Tim, you know Essendon better than all of us. I mean, how damaging do you think a night like tonight is for the Bombers?
Well, they've got a terribly tough run home, as everybody knows, and they've still got a number of players that need to come back into this side for their best lineup to be out there, but you just don't want to get hammered. They've got Hawthorn next week, so it's a matter of confidence too that you can lose with a big loss like this.
Enright comes out wide to Kelly. Just a couple of things in the last few minutes. We saw Josh Hunt. They've been talking about cracking down on acting. Well, he was a little vaudevillian in the back pocket, and of course Scarlett a little bit earlier than that. That will be interesting. There he is. Speaking of the devil, that takes a bit of a ranging, Bruce. You know, you mention him and up he comes. Nobody near him this time. It was, shall we say, an errant backhander.
It's been an interesting challenge for Essendon this week. Other than the Anzac Day game earlier in the year, it's their first 6-day break, so their routine's been different, and would have had to adapt it accordingly. And you've got to say they've been flat all night, the Bombers.
Selwood a little out of sorts tonight. 19 possessions. Scarlett goes short to the men I was talking about. Josh Hunt comes across the ground to Lonergan. Lonergan will chip up towards the wing. Next week, Geelong have got Adelaide in Melbourne. Or is it in Geelong more particularly?
You're down at Geelong, Yep. Adelaide would like it in Adelaide.
No, I was thinking Melbourne, but Geelong. Tom says there is a distinctive difference as the ball goes short and the mark is taken by Duncan on the outer side. Little chip through the centre square. Mackie. So Mackie out wide to Enright. They're just doing as they like now, the Cats. Just running the clock down. This game they know is in the bank. Smets, a bit more to play for, stretches and takes the mark.
What a good move it was to rest Steve Johnson when you come back now. And Andrew Mackie, how many kicks forward of the centre tonight? I mean, more than I've seen him have in a long time.
At the 8 inside forward 50s.
He's been impressive tonight, Smets. This is kind of, for me, it's a bit of a breakthrough game. This is the first game I've seen him play where he's been pretty good all through rather than just little cameos.
Well, it's a tight pocket. He struck it to about 5-10 metres. What sort of a reputation did he have, Tom Smets?
Well, he came after I was there, but he's a local boy, played for the Geelong Falcons. They're really impressed with his dynamic side.
I'll ask Lingy. Lingy, did he have a big reputation, Smets?
Well, he was a Geelong grammar boy, Bruce, and went through the APS program, but brilliant agility and a fantastic athlete. Spent a lot of time in the sidelines in his first year getting his hips right. He had a lot of injury problems, but now that he's got a full pre-season under his belt, he's starting to show the quality that the club thought he'd have.
I think of number 2 at Geelong. I think it was Dennis Marshall was the dasher when I first started getting interested in football. He's the boy from East Fremantle. Goes back, Harry Taylor. East Fremantle, of course, the home of some Hall of Famers, George Dory, Jack Clark, not the Jack Clark that played for these Bombers in the bygone era. Nipper Truscott way back in the early days. Here's Hunt in midfield. It comes across towards Motlop. Breaks away with raw speed. Goes with the outside of the boot. Oh, great judgment by Hawkins. His opponent jumped early. Hawkins didn't lose exactly his tracking device there. In fact, it honed in despite the body over the top. And he's lining up at number 4. Puts it through.
That's 7 marks, 4 goals. I tell you one thing, when you always sort of think, when you watch terms, I reckon Essendon are thinking to themselves, and I don't know whether we want Carl Hook at fullback. The running centre-half back playing on the Nick Riewoldt type player, that's his go. But when he's been close to goal and playing really that full-back position, Hawkins has just seen her out-read the ball in the air most of the time, been too good body use.
And you watch Hooker there, became really reactive. He was on the back foot, a couple of metres off. You saw his eyes and he realised, I'm in strife here and I'm just basically going to try and make a contest. Needs to be more proactive when the ball's coming in. Knew it was going to be a long ball in from the kick from Motlop. Just had to do some fancy footwork and launch at the ball at the same time as Hawkins.
So career high goals for him in a season. 5th time this year he's kicked at least 4 in a match. His father and uncle, of course, well-known players. Duncan stretching and stretching, almost got his pants pulled down, but he's been pulling Essendon's pants down a bit tonight. And Hawkins in the pocket might end up with a handful. Does he do a Stevie J? He's got 5. It's a sweet feeling.
You know when he marked the ball next to the boundary line, he thought, this is good. I don't have to kick it straight. I can run it, kick it across my body, because he does that better and more consistently.
Just a kind of quick, Duncan's almost been the Bartella tonight, hasn't he?
He's probably the player of the game. I mean, he's been fantastic. The best game I've seen him play. He's been there really high possession, getting midfield, and he can run and carry.
And Lee, where's Hawkins getting himself into? Is he sort of getting into the cloak type class just for the minute?
He more plays close to goal. He's not so much the running centre forward type. He's the guy who plays a little bit closer to goal. But he just looks more imposing more often these days, as you'd expect.
Tommy could have kicked, what, 7 or 8 tonight. He's got 5. His career high is 6 against Brisbane earlier this season. He might equal that. Smets goes over the shoulders. Selwood darting around. Couldn't get through, though. Stanton ditto. Opportunity for Duncan. They had him by the leg, but he got it to Stokes. Corey. So Stokes is getting a free kick behind the play. He was in that pack trying to work the ball out. So 14 seconds to go. Swings it out wide to Chapman. Well, I know it's very late in the game, but, gee, nobody really went near him. So the siren will sound and beat him. He'll have a kick after the siren. And Geelong have done it again. Just when you think they're in trouble, they find something that makes you reassess what you were thinking as you arrived at the ground. I mentioned a whiff of decline. Well, tonight it's the sweet smell of success as it goes down towards full forward. Bagley marks, doesn't matter. It's all Geelong. They win 2014 to 10-17. Check the Shazam.